Welcome to the Lifted Lifestyle Podcast. This is a call to action to live above limitations that try to disrupt your peace, steal your joy, and limit your access to your best life. I am Latasha Weatherspoon, the Chief Empowerment Officer of the Lifted Lifestyle. You can find me on social media at Tasha Spoon and at theliftedlifestyle.com. And I am joined today by my favorite host, Mr. Chaz Bailey.
Hello world, this is Chaz Bailey, COO, Creative Opportunities for the Lifted Lifestyle. You can find me online on social media, Twitter at Chaz Bailey, and the Creative Opportunities on Instagram, and also at theliftedlifestyle.com with Tasha. So how y'all doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. No complaints. It's been a good week so far. So I can't complain.
Good.
Yeah, can't complain.
Good. So let's jump into the normal way that we start our show every week, which is with a moment of gratitude, because gratitude is the doorway to all abundance. So, Mr. Bailey, what are you grateful for this week?
This week, and since my birthday, I've been grateful for just opportunity. An opportunity, not only just waking up,
you stole
but
mine.
No, that's what it is. It's true. You can be a part of it as well. Jump on the bandwagon. But just opportunities. It comes from near and far, whether it's an opportunity to be with family, opportunity to wake up, opportunity to have a cold glass of water on a hot Houston day. I'm just grateful for the opportunity.
Well, I am grateful for the opportunities that is coming to our businesses right now. We're definitely in a season of open doors, and I am so grateful for that, opportunity to relish in that abundance. Yeah. But in addition to that, I'm also grateful for every person who's watching us right now on social media. Facebook. Hey, y'all. I see Nikki Berry and Ebony and Tawana and Bryce and everyone watching with us. Make sure that you let us know what you guys are grateful for in the comment section.
Please do.
And share this on your social media with your friends. We have a good show for you today. So, Mr. Bailey, what's the title of our show today? Tell the people.
Okay, the title of our show today is Resolve, a Component for Champions.
Ooh, a component of champions.
Yes,
Resolve.
Resolve.
I'm here for it.
Yes,
okay,
resolve.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, so, with NBA just ending, it was some new champions.
They're kind of returning champions.
Yeah, returning champions, but what makes a champion is resolve. They lost before, and they weren't expected to win. They beat Houston. I'm sorry. They beat Houston and made it there.
Hey, you're going to get us some hate mail sent to us. And
that takes resolve.
He's sorry, guys.
Yeah.
He's sorry.
Resolve.
But it's like, speaking of basketball, it's kind of like what you said to me after watching the finals when you said resolve is the thing that make champions go back to the gym when they lose.
Yes. Like, for example, even though the Cleveland Cavaliers lost, LeBron James lost, resolve got them to the finals because, in my opinion, I counted them out the first round, second round, third round, of course, the fourth round, but they made it there. So that type of resolve, the leadership qualities to go back and say, you know what, we're going to do it again. Because sometimes in life we may fall short, but resolve makes up the space where we lost. So It creates another opportunity, something to be grateful for.
Let's take a step back and define resolve for our listeners. So resolve is defined as deciding firmly on a course of action. So deciding without wavering to do a given action.
Yeah. So it's your choice. At the end of the day, it's your choice. Am I going to lose this in terms of we were talking about basketball? Am I going to lose this game and never return again? Or will I go into the gym and practice and hopefully get where I need to get the next year? So that's what resolve does.
For me, when I think about having resolve, I've said on this show time and time again that my motto for 2018 is I will not be denied. And that came from a place of resolve. And when I think about making that decision. Resolve really is the root. It's what's below the surface. It's what's buried. It's what people don't see. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then the decisions that you make that manifest in your business, that show up in other areas of your life, are the fruit that come from the root of resolve.
Yeah, that's true.
So when you plant your roots in resolve, you say, I'm doing this. Firmly, you plant your feet and you start making decisions and choices to support your goals. And I say goals instead of dreams because dreams are abstract.
Yes.
Yes, they're kind of like, wishes until you take the first action step. It's just a wish.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the difference between a dream and a goal. Resolve. And what are you willing to do to manifest this? What are you willing to do to make the things that you want for yourself non-negotiable?
Yeah, that's important. The non-negotiable aspects of it. And that lets us know, in order to be non-negotiable, in my opinion, about anything, you have to be passionate about something first. So you have to be passionate about your goals, your aspirations. You have to be passionate about what you want. Because in being passionate for it, you can define clearly, what am I willing to show resolve for? So if I'm, as we talked earlier, if I'm LeBron James and I lose the championship, my resolve, because I still want to win a championship, places me in the gym. My resolve, if I'm a decent student and I don't do as well on the test, places me in a library or a study group. My resolve, if I don't get a job interview or didn't do well on it, allows me to craft my resume better and seek assistance. So that is what resolve does, because you're passionate. You're passionate about a championship. You're passionate about your school grades. You're passionate about the opportunity to have a new career. So when you look at those type of instances, resolves basically makes your life easier. It makes
a difference.
Exactly. Exactly. It makes all of the difference, in my opinion.
And when you start to talk about passion, it gets real interesting. Because if you have chosen to do something and you're just doing it halfway, lackadaisical, my suggestion to you would be to really survey if you're passionate about it. Because if you are not passionate about it, I think you need to find something else to do.
Exactly.
I mean, we've all been there.
Yeah.
We've all been in situations where we were doing something that we weren't necessarily passionate about, but it made us money. But it got us connection. But when you're doing something that you're not passionate about, it's more difficult to do.
Oh, yeah. Think about,
it's more difficult to go to a job that you hate.
Exactly. You just took the words out of my mouth. Because if you're at a job that you hate, you can make $1 million an hour.
That's true.
And you need to do one thing to go above and beyond. Guess who will not do it? You. Because you're not passionate about that job. You're passionate about the money you may receive. But at the end of the day, if that money stops, you stop.
I mean, and sometimes it doesn't even take the money to stop in order for you to stop. Because, I heard Les Brown say one time he had a job and he was doing just enough for them to pay him and just enough to not get fired.
Yeah, that's true.
And I know in my life personally, I won't talk about anybody else, but I can talk about my life. I know I've been in a position where I've had a job, because it wasn't my career.
Yeah,
it was a job where I was doing just enough to get paid and just enough to not get fired. I had no fire and fervor about what I was doing, and it showed in my performance.
Yes.
Yes.
And
it showed in my performance.
Because one big thing that you just said, it shows in your performance, but also those that are gathered around you may assume that's your character. And so that's when it gets tough, because, yes, I really don't like it. I'm just moving along. But if someone on the outside that doesn't know you from the past and probably won't get a chance to know you in the future, if they were to be asked about your character, it will be reflecting in your work. So in my opinion, when we speak to people that are making career changes, I always say this: go into something that you're passionate about, or if you're assuming that this may be a good fit for you, research the role. Sit in on it, because if you do that, you can see, okay, do I really fit here, or will I just get lackadaisical and end up walking off?
Or, change the way that you see it.
Yeah.
Change the way that you see it, because in the job, we won't bring it up, but you know what job I'm talking
Yes.
about. In one of the contracts that I had to change my mindset and say, although this is a job and I'm working for someone else and I don't particularly love it, this job is the investor for my business at the time.
Exactly.
It was my number one investor. So I changed my mindset and said, I'm going to treat this job the same way I would an angel investor.
Yeah.
I'm going to show up on time. I'm going to work a little bit harder, because at the end of the day, it is this paycheck they give me is giving me an opportunity to sow into my business. So I had to change my mindset. But even that came from a place of resolve. I desperately wanted to leave that job. So because I wanted to leave that job, I had to position myself to leave. I had to save money to leave. I had to put myself in a position where I was working harder than I was before in order to be able to work for myself.
No, that's true.
But that came from resolve. It came from the idea that I hate this. I don't want to do this like this anymore.
Exactly.
So I had to change my everything, my attitude. I had to check myself. But that goes for, to self-awareness. When you're in a place where you can check yourself and you can say, you know what? If I hate this job so much, what am I going to do to change it?
Exactly. And that's the key point, because in anything we go into, and especially to our people that are in college, high school, that listen to the program, the same thing applies in school. Because, you don't understand how this applies to what you have planned in the future, but you need to take these steps to get where you need to go. So you have to form leverage, just like you said, Latasha. When you're looking at the fact that you don't want to be in this job, but you have aspirations of being an entrepreneur, that job provides the leverage to ease into entrepreneurship. So understanding that on the school side, those grades will leverage you to be out of school and also walk onto someone's job or create your own, because you need to realize that your reputation is tied to everything that you do.
Indeed.
And so having that resolve is a piece of your reputation.
Indeed.
So are you a hard worker when the lights are on, or are you a hard worker at all times? Because as many say, your character is shown what you do when the lights are off.
Ooh, that's good.
So you have to pay attention to that. So
that's
your
good.
resolve, it can be also inspirational to someone. So at the end of the day, be passionate about whatever you are in. And even though if you're not in the field that may be, use the leverage to get to where you want to go.
Yeah. And sometimes we have to forget the odds that are stacked against us.
Oh, yeah.
We have to dismiss the odds that are stacked against us when we've made up in our mind to do something.
Yeah.
Because if you are focused on the obstacle, then your vision is obscured.
Exactly.
If you're focused on all of the things that are preventing you from getting to the next level, you're not focusing on what you can do to get over, around, under, or to knock them down.
Yeah.
Because
everything you do, you're going to have people on both sides. You're going to have people cheering you on, people booing, and people just don't care. So it reminds me of something I seen lately, because it was something funny where these people were making like rap songs out of Dr. Seuss books. And this reminds me of a Dr. Seuss book where they talked about hunches and bunches. And so the Hunches and Bunches book is virtually about resolve. It's about a kid. He's walking around, and all of these hunches, basically like in hunches in life, people steering you to different directions. And they come in and say, hey, you should go outside. So he looks to go outside, and someone comes and say, no, you should stay in the house. And one says, you should do this. One says you should do that. And what happens is that everything is stacked against him. He's not paying attention to what he wants. And so it teaches you, it's a story about self-resilience. So he stands up for himself and says, at the end of all these hunches, pulling him everywhere, he said, you know what? I want a munch hunch. I'm hungry. And he went and ate, because that's what he wanted to do. And in life, we have to do that, because everyone will pull you in different directions. Everyone will tell you, you can't do that.
Come on, Dr. Seuss with the lesson.
Exactly. Everybody's telling you that, as I said, LeBron, you're going to lose in the first round, second round, third round. Now you're in the finals. People are going to tell you what you can't do, but the one voice that matters lies within.
I mean, and even if, you want to talk about basketball, let's talk about Steph Curry. You know, everyone told him he was too little to go to the NBA.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you're never going to make it in the NBA. And now this man is one of the greatest shooters in the game ever. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So, but that took resolve, you know, that took resolve. Resolve is the steering mechanism that keeps you committed to the things that you've set out to do.
Yes.
It is what keeps you committed when everyone tells you, hey, you can't do that. That's not going to work. Where you come from, people aren't successful.
Yeah, people don't make it.
People don't make it from where you from. You know, you're not even know what to do with that money when they give it to you.
Exactly.
There will always be someone with an opinion, but you have to remember that you had a vision before they had an opinion.
Exactly.
And the difference in manifesting your vision and not manifesting your vision is how committed are you to doing the work necessary. You know, you have to take your vision, your dreams, and make them goals. Small, actionable steps.
Yes.
What are you going to do? You know, I really feel like sometimes we get stuck in the dreaming phase.
Yeah.
I want. But what are you going to do to change your current situation?
Yeah. Yeah. What are the steps?
Resolve is the thing that makes you sit down and put pen to paper and say, you know what? I'm going to call such and such. Or, you know what? I don't even know where to get started. Let me go research.
Yeah.
In the information age, you can Google anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And overall, it's simply not taking no for an answer.
I will not be denied.
I will not be denied. You know, because if you say I'm setting out on this journey, I've set out on my dream, which started off as a vision. Now it's a plan. Now I have a blueprint. Now I'm getting to work. So when you take those action steps like that, the possibilities are endless. And no matter what the odds are against you, it can be 30 to 1, 100 to 1, million to 1. Those people don't make it out of that neighborhood. These people don't keep their money in this neighborhood. But when you go back and look at it, guess what? I will. And when you say that, you're basically making a contract with yourself and saying, I'm going to make it despite everything. Everything, no matter who comes to me, whether it's family, friends, who may be against me, I'm going to make it happen. And if you do happen to fall down, resolve gets you back up.
Yes, it does.
That's what resolve is. It's basically, okay, yeah, I fell right here, but guess what? Tomorrow's a new day, and I'm going to wake up and go get it.
And it's not resolve is the difference between accepting failure and taking the lesson.
Yeah.
Because it's not a failure if you take the lesson, do something different, and move forward.
Yeah.
It's only a failure if you get stuck there and you stay there and you say, you know what? I fell off the bike. I'm just going to lay right here on the ground. Mm-hmm. We have to go back to the mindset of we had when we were children. If there's something that you want to accomplish, think about the time when you learned to ride a bike. You got on the bike, you were unsteady, you fell. Mm-hmm. What did you do? You dusted yourself off. You got back on the bike. You were unsteady. You fell again.
Yeah.
What did you do? You dusted yourself off. You got back up. And if it was too hard, you got training wheels until your core was strong enough to hold the bike up.
Exactly.
You have to be the same way with manifesting the life that you want. When you fall, dust yourself off, get back up. When you fall a little bit more, dust yourself off, get back up. And if you need some training wheels, get a mentor.
Yes.
Ask for help. Google, read, research. You know, a lot of people always talk about successful people and the difference between successful people and average people. But one of the biggest differences between successful people and people who don't become successful is how much information they take in.
Yeah.
Most millionaires are avid readers.
That is true.
When you think about Elon Musk from Tesla, when you think about Oprah, when you think about Mark Cuban, these are wealthy people, but they're also avid readers. They didn't know what to do just because they woke up and they were like extremely brilliant. Yeah. They researched, they put themselves in a position to win. You have to go back to your childhood and take that same approach to building your life. Too many people are sitting back waiting for life to happen to them as opposed to building the life that they want brick by brick.
That's
the one thing that I learned growing up in Ville Platte, Louisiana. My grandmother taught me a lesson. She made $12,000 a year cleaning houses for the people who owned Carey Sporting Goods. Great family. They were so good to us. But instead of just taking that, she sold sweet potato pies on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
She sewed for people. She refused, absolutely refused to let us know we were even poor. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
Everything that we wanted and or needed, we had. And that is the one thing that I took from her, that resolve to get it done by any means and every means. Too many people are sitting back and waiting for life to just show up. And all of a sudden, you know what? It's a great life. I just woke up today and it was great.
Yeah, no.
You have to do some work while you're praying, while you're meditating, while you're manifesting. You have to make sure that you are putting the work in to meet your faith, because faith and works go hand in hand.
No, that's true. That is true. And when things don't go right, we have to always remember to keep at it. Weather the storm.
Yep.
You have to weather the storms, because it feels good. I'm on track. I woke up. I'm an avid reader. I did everything in my possible being to make it, and I failed. And now my friends that were with me in the beginning, not here no more. And people don't look at me the same way. But these are the storms that come with greatness, because a lot of people look at you, as we just said, because they put the odds against you. Now you can say, all right, I expect this to come. And when it comes, that second piece of resolve kicks in.
That second win.
That second win, because I'm not stopping.
Yep.
No matter what, by any means necessary. You said Elon Musk, he had a big dream about energy, making it efficient. What's your why? And yes, this vehicle didn't work right. This energy source didn't come out right. But his why is he ties itself to humanity. So that gives you an extra drive. I'm weathering the storm.
It's bigger than you.
It's bigger than me. So what is bigger than you? That's what you have to ask yourself.
Yes.
What is bigger than you, and what keeps me going at it each day? As you said with your grandmother, she went and worked for a minimum wage, but she had a why at home.
And her why is it show you how full circle it is. Her why was me and Regina.
Yeah.
And now my why is my grandmother.
Exactly.
You know, listen, people, I tell you all the time, Greta May ain't got to pick up a spoon if she don't want to, because she worked hard to build me into the woman I became today. Now I'm working hard to make sure that her golden years she reaps the reward of the work she put in.
Yeah.
You know, my why is wanting to make sure our children have generational wealth when they come.
Yeah.
You know, that they have opportunities that I didn't have. And if you don't have something that is bigger than you, my challenge to you is to find it. Because when you find a reason that is bigger than yourself, you get closer to finding your purpose.
Exactly.
Because purpose is always about more than just you.
Exactly. It's something I read when I thought about this topic, resolve, and it said, how many times do you get up when you've been knocked down? And it reminds me of the old Owl and the Tootsie Pop commercial. Like, how many licks does it take to get to the center? And so in this, it says 1, 2, 3. And it said, no, how about until you're dead? Because that means you're grinding until you reach your success. And if, like you said, if my why is strong and my why is my children, my why is my family, my why is humanity, I'm going to keep at it, because I know things will not always work in my favor. But when it does, guess who all will reap the benefits? Everyone. And so when I look at it in that way, I don't mind grinding till I'm dead. I don't mind to put myself in position to make other lives better along the way, because inspiration comes from anywhere. It may become from the way I pick up a spoon until I tell my story in my golden years. That may make all of the difference in the change that the world needs today, and it lies in us. When we speak about resolve, this is something that necessarily you don't have to learn. Resolve is jumping in the pool and not knowing how to swim, and when you need to breathe, you pop up miraculously. That's your resolve, as your humanly instincts. As you were discussing in your brain power, neurological senses, is that when the brain goes into shock or survival
fight
mode,
or flight.
it's the fight or flight. So now your whole body is built on resolve. Now you just have to tap into it. That's all.
You know, I think that that comes from a powerful place. You know, you have to remember that your being was built for survival.
Yeah.
You know, when we think about the things that weaken our resolve, we think about the things that weaken our ability to firmly make a decision. You have to consider your circle.
Mm-hmm.
You have to consider whether or not you're giving voice and focusing on your fears or your faith in yourself.
Yes.
What are you feeding your mind? What are you telling yourself? Are you affirming yourself? Because, you know, negative thoughts are going to show up. But every time a negative thought shows up, are you asking yourself, what if it does work?
That's the key thing you have to ask, because it's got to be it's two sides to everything. You have to have the yin and the yang with your body, with your life, with everyone you come in contact with. So if we want to be negative Nancy today, we got to be positive Paul tomorrow. We have to be ready for it, because if you're going to say, oh, it's not going to work, but what if it does? I'm rich, I might be poor. What if this? What if that? We have to look at the entire spectrum.
And another thing that weakens your resolve or your ability to firmly tie into a decision is playing the victim, externalizing your life, giving someone else or something else the power. Oh, you know what? I can't be great because my father wasn't there. I can't be great because my mother wasn't there. I can't be great because of where I come from. Those are all things that are outside of you. But resolve is internal.
Inside.
It's internal. It is the difference between focusing on everything around you and focusing on what's in you.
Yes.
You know, it's the difference between saying I'm broke and saying how can I use the skills and talents I have to make money.
Yes, exactly. It's all about the approach.
It's all about where you put your focus.
Exactly.
And how you approach it. You're definitely right.
Yeah.
Definitely right.
Exactly. So always remember to weather the storm in anything, because as we say, if we don't leave you but with one thing, resolve is already hardwired into your system. It's just we want you to tap into it. And when things come negative as you tap into it, weather those storms, because that creates the resolve needed for your best life.
And in addition to weathering the storms, feed your resolve.
Yes.
Surround yourself with other people who remind you of who you are when you can't remind yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
When you've forgotten. Surround yourself with people that are going to say, you know what? You're having a bad day, but this is a moment.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Surround yourself with people who are going to pick you back up.
Exactly.
When you fall down. Someone who's not going to let you give up on yourself.
Exactly.
Feed your mind. Read books about your industry.
Yes.
Research the things that you are passionate about. If you don't know how to do it, learn.
It's there for you.
Learn.
It's there for you. We have access to more information than anybody in the history of the world today. And so at our touch, in our fingertips, we can choose to read gossip posts, or we can choose to be great. You know, it's either way you want to go. It's balance in everything. You can choose the negative way, you can choose the positive way, but the resolve we have in us will lead you to the path of success every time.
And you know, I had to stop saying about 2 years ago I didn't have time. Oh, I'm so busy, I don't have time. Because when I started to realize how much time I was spending on social media, my life changed.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have time to read another book, but I'm reading social media posts. I don't have time to start another business, but I'm spending 2 hours on the phone talking about nothing. You know?
Yeah, and that's what comes, your passion, it goes against those negative hobbies.
Definitely.
Because it's easy. Because some of those hobbies are not really hobbies, they're fillers. Because they just really, you fill in the gaps, like, okay, I'm on a break, I don't have nothing to do, let me do this. But it's about what you fill that hole with. We can go fill a pothole with water, it's still a pothole.
Yep.
You know, but if we accurately cement that and put something that prevents that from being a pothole, it's no longer a pothole.
And you know what? That was a great point, because that's what we started doing.
Yeah.
Instead of reading social media or just randomness when we had downtime, reading a book, listening to an audio book, finding journal articles and research about your industry, studying, take a course.
Yeah.
There are all kind of information and
For free.
free courses you can
For
take.
free.
You know, look that up. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
do something productive and positive, and that will feed your resolve.
Exactly.
It will make, the more you know and the more you are tapped into your given industry, the more you're going to be resolved to, you know what, I'm going to make my dreams come true. I'm not taking no for an answer. You know, I'm not going to be denied. And I mean, that's all I got, Mr. Bailey.
No, that's it. That's it. Perfectly. You know, usually about this time we get into the good news, but for today on this topic, I actually have a poem.
Oh, what you say?
Yeah, it's not for me though. You know, it's not for me. You the writer. But this poem is from Abdullah Shahab, and it's titled "Pretty Ugly." And I'm gonna read it to you while it's on the screen. It says, "I am very ugly, so don't try to convince me that I'm a beautiful person. Because at the end of the day, I hate myself in every single way. And I'm not going to lie to myself by saying there is beauty inside of me that matters. So rest assured, I will remind myself that I am a worthless, terrible person. And nothing you say will make me believe I deserve love. Because no matter what, I'm not good enough to be loved. And I am in no position to believe that beauty exists within me. Because whenever I look in the mirror, I always think, am I ugly as people say?" So the way he wrote this poem, that sounds harsh, but now you read it from the bottom up, as we talked about resolve.
Okay.
Am I ugly as people say? Because whenever I look in the mirror, I always think beauty does exist within me.
Ooh, come on.
I'm in no position to believe that I am not good enough to be loved, because no matter what, I still deserve love. And nothing you will say will make me believe that I'm a worthless, terrible person. So rest assured, I will remind myself that there is beauty inside of me that matters, and I'm not going to lie to myself by saying I hate myself in every single way, because at the end of the day, I'm a beautiful person. So don't try to convince me that I'm very ugly.
Wow. And that's all about perspective. It's all about how you see yourself in a given situation.
Because the outside world may say you're very ugly, or let's say you did something wrong and they say, oh, you're a bad person, and you take that with you, because in life, we tend to see negative connotations tied to something. I'm a single mother. That doesn't mean nothing. Like, I'm a mother, you know.
Come on.
I'm a father. I'm a brother. I'm a friend. It's all about how you look at that. And this poem, when I saw it, it actually was posted on a lot of news sites last week, and I just said, wow. Because when I read it the first time, I was like, wow. But it's about perspective, about how you look at yourself. Because you can say the first way we read it was the world's view. And then you take a look and you read it backwards. Then you say, this is my view. So everywhere you step is going to be in greatness because you define that.
So at the end of the day, if you take nothing else with you from this show, I want you to take away the fact that you have a choice in how you see yourself and in the life you choose to live. And it comes from firmly making a decision to live it.
Exactly.
Firmly making the decision to believe it. The power is 100% yours.
Yes.
So make sure.
And I can't say nothing else than that. Yeah, I mean, that's it. That's it there. And remember, next time you see a Resolve commercial, it's not about no cleaning products, not about no stain blockers. It's about your life.
Yes, it is.
Where's your resolve?
Yes,
and what are you going
is.
to do about it?
So make sure that you go follow The Lifted Lifestyle on all social media channels.
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. Just
Everywhere.
go follow
And
us
visit us on our website.
And subscribe to theliftedlifestyle.com.
Yes.
We have some amazing events coming.
Yes,
and
we
for
do.
ladies, I have a big announcement coming on Friday. So if you are not following at Tasha Spoon on Instagram, go and follow at Tasha Spoon on Instagram and at the Creator of Opportunities on Instagram. We're going to make an announcement about the 2018 Assembly events.
Yeah, last time it was really big.
They are not ready
huge.
for what we have coming this year. You do not want to miss it. So
All
go
right.
and follow us and subscribe to our website today. Anything else for the people, Mr. Bailey?
No, and don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and any outlets you have, and we'll be here for you. And we want to have your comments because that makes us better. So we definitely want that. So other than that, stay resolved.
And remember that you have the choice to live the life that you want. If you take your decision into the phase of action, remember to live lifted in everything that you do, above limitations that try to disrupt your peace and steal your joy. Until next time, see you soon.
See you soon.